Our next appetizer is going to be steak au poivre. Steak au poivre is traditionally made with filet mignon that has been crusted in black peppercorns and served with a brandy cream. We are going to alter it just a little bit and not make the brandy cream, as it does not lend itself to walking around appetizer food. And we are going to serve it on some potato planks. So steak au poivre originated in the 19th century in the bistros of Normandy, where there were noted figures that took their female companions for late suppers, where peppers were supposedly an aphrodisiac. There is a gentleman by the name of Emile Lurch that in the 1950s in a magazine staked his claim to being the inventor of steak au poivre, stating that he first made it in 1930. The restaurant Albert was owned by Albert Blazer, who would then go on to head Maxim's later. He said that he had received a shipment of frozen beef from America that looked great, but it was lacking in flavor. At the time, the restaurant was full of Americans who had ruined their taste buds by indulging in too many cocktails before dinner. He then came up with the idea of putting peppercorns on the meat to add flavor and to make sure that the customers with their deadened taste buds could taste their meal. He deliberately called it steak au poivre to indicate its dual origin, American beef and French cooking. So here we go. I earlier sliced some potatoes about a 1/4 inch thick, and overnight I soaked them in ice water and changed the water out 2 or 3 times just to leach some starch out of them. And then fried them. I par-fried them real quick so I wouldn't spend all of our time here cooking potatoes. And now I'm going to put them onto the grill to crisp them up and to give them some grill marks. Also on the grill are some julienne onions. I have white and purple onions in this mix. And I also have some sun-dried tomatoes to add a little bit of color and a little bit of sweetness to the onion mixture. I've also put some fresh thyme in there. Just strip the leaves off some fresh thyme and add it right in. And we will also sprinkle it with a little tiny bit of salt and pepper. Okay. Now, the filet mignon, you can buy your steaks pre-cut at the grocery store. And then this steak should be cut down to about this thickness. It's about 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch thick, okay? So one steak should give you 3 or 4 cuts. Then you're going to take your thin cut steaks and you're going to dredge it in a mixture of the salt and the coarse cracked pepper. Put some olive oil on your grill. Maybe you should turn your grill on so it's nice and warm. While that's warming up, you're going to take your steaks and dredge them into the salt and pepper mix. Do not be afraid that this is going to become salty. I know that's everybody's fear. It used to be my fear also. It's not the truth. Everybody is afraid that a lot of food will taste salty. You shouldn't avoid salt unless you've got a dietary reason to. We as Americans eat more salt than what we even begin to realize. It's in a lot of our foods and everything. So don't be afraid to season with salt and pepper. Seems kind of basic and a lot of people shy away from it. Okay, so put your steaks on here. They will not take long to cook. We can do one more. The potatoes are starting to crisp up. Let's give them a nice turn. Before you turn the steaks, Make sure that you've got your serving platter ready to go. Nothing like having your food ready to go and then rushing around the kitchen looking for something to put it on at the very last minute. When I do that, I always forget to turn the stove off also. So I end up burning something, and people look at me and wonder what kind of chef I really am, running around my own kitchen like a lunatic. Okay, flip over the steak. It's a little too soon, but it'll be fine. Okay, for assembly, while these cook on the other side, you're going to put a couple potatoes onto your plate. Put a nice pile of the onions and the sun-dried tomatoes. Oh, the sour cream is for the top. Let's put a little extra thyme on these while the steak is cooking. Okay, and then depending on how you like your steak, these are going to cook quickly because they are so thin. Okay, then you're going to put your steak on top of your potato. Top it with a small amount of sour cream so it starts to melt right in there on top of your warm steak. And then another couple slivers of the sun-dried tomato. And you've got a warm appetizer to feed your guests.